Hello, hello. It's Belle here, your host of Inspired Lady. This one's gonna be fun, guys. Okay, today we're talking all about how to create your personal brand, which is gonna be so fun. I am all about like a good refresh, a good, remodeling. I'm gonna use that word. Oh, I've been in the house vibes too much, remodeling. But anyways, I think this is going to be really fun. We're going to give like little sections, tangible tips, all the things on creating a personal brand. So like when people see something, they're going to be like, ooh, that's so you. I don't know. It's just going to be fun. This is a little vibe, whatever. Okay, let's jump right in because I'm rambling again. So this is a pre-recorded episode, which means I don't have any life updates that will mean anything to you. I can guess what my life is. Okay, let's see. When is this going up? Okay, so going up in there. I believe I am in Alaska right now, if I follow the schedule of posting. But I don't know. Maybe I don't use this until way later. We'll see. So no life updates right now. I am drinking a big old thing of water because, like I said, I'm batch recording podcast episodes and I'm gonna lose my voice. But it's okay, guys. So anyways, I really wanted to do this podcast episode of kind of like a how to create your personal brand, and it seems really fun to me. Okay, and we're just gonna be talking about all the things of kind of like I would with a brand. Okay, so I work on social media and I work with multiple brands on branding opportunities, and that just means you're figuring out all of the details before you necessarily launch and try to like sell to people. Okay, so you got to figure out your color scheme, you got to figure out your brand, your mission, your values, you've got to figure out your logo, what fonts you use, all of these things that you do for a brand. And now I really want to make sure that I make myself clear because I'm very torn between these two like worlds here of like, you like as a human being, you are more than a brand, obviously. Okay, like you are more than like a small little box, whatever. And I recognize that, and I like literally will shout that from the rooftops, like you are more than a brand. However, I think that there is a confidence in knowing who you are and being able to recognize the strengths of that. Okay, like knowing what you want, what you like, what you don't like. And it's not necessarily that you're putting yourself in a box, but you're still allowing flexibility for growth. But you're just a little bit more confident because you've taken the time to think about what you like, what you don't like, what fits you, what doesn't fit you. Maybe something that you like, but maybe doesn't work for your life or for your season, okay? So there's so much flexibility in this. Like you could do this like weekly if you wanted, you know what I mean? But I think there is this level of impact when you choose to take time out of your day or out of your year and you recognize what you like and what you don't like. So when people are like, oh, do you like this? You don't have to hem and haw. You're like, does that fit me? No, it doesn't. Or you know what? That's very on brand, okay? Like I love the fact that you're able to say that's on brand because you know like your brand. And if you're watching on YouTube, you saw air quotes. If you're just listening, using air quotes, okay? So this is gonna be fun, okay? The first thing that I would go through with a brand, like a company, as they're trying to brand, I would say, what is the purpose? What is the mission? Okay, we're going to start nice and deep. And I want you to really take some time to think about what is your mission? What is your purpose? Okay. And I think that this gives you clarity when making decisions, especially when you're talking about where your time goes. Okay. So when you're trying to decide what to spend your time on, it can be really hard if you don't know what your purpose or your mission is, okay? What is your God-sized dream? Okay, truthfully. So let me give you an example to make this a little bit more real. So for me, I literally wrote down like a mission statement for my life currently. Again, it's flexible. I'll probably change this like 30 more times within the next like 10 years, okay? But my mission statement is, oh gosh, I should have pulled this up. I don't have it. I'll just give it to you offhand. It's like to inspire other people to love God deeply, to grow my relationships with my community and serve them, and then to best steward the roles that I'm currently in. Okay, those are, And like by roles, I mean like as wife, as daughter, as friend, as podcast host, like roles that I have, I want to best fulfill those. Okay. So like that's my mission statement right now. Those are the things that I really desire in my life. And so then when people offer me things like, let's see, I was offered a job, like a little side job to run a virtual event. And they were going to pay me money, and they were like, hey, will you run this virtual event? And it was going to take a lot of my time. It was like honestly going to, be a pretty heavy task. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh, I should probably do it. But then I went back to my mission statement and I was like, okay, this isn't really inspiring anyone. This isn't stewarding a position that I currently have well, and it's not helping deepen relationships with Christ. So it was like, it's not on brand. And it's adding a lot of pressure to me, truthfully. And so I was able to kind of take a step back and be like, you know what, thank you so much for this offer, but I am not able to help at this time. Maybe some of these people could. So it was just an ability for me, it allowed me the ability to take a step back and be like, I think I'm going to adjust here and maybe not be so focused on, I don't know, like if this works out for my life and where my time should be spent. And so having a mission, a purpose, a statement, just knowing that when you're offered something time-wise, resource-wise, whatever, and you can look back and be like, does this fit my brand? So that's my first note, and I think it's really practical. It's really beneficial. I would definitely say that. Next, I want to go into how do you make others feel? So what I like to do with brands is I ask whatever person I'm working with, I'll say, like, what is the goal to make other people feel here? Are you trying to inspire them? Are you trying to educate them? Do you want to come across as very like, formal and like knowledgeable, or do you want to come across as relatable and like up to date on what's going on? Are you going to like use Gen Z language, or are you going to use like very academic language? So how do you come across to other people? It's what I love to ask brands, and that's what I'm going to ask you now. Okay, as you're figuring out your personal brand here, are you someone that when you walk in the room, you're excited and you tend to motivate those around you, and it's just like a life of the party kind of vibes? Or are you calming, and when you walk in the room, it's a breath of fresh air and people feel like they can open up to you because it's such a calming experience? Do they feel heard when they're around you? Do they feel seen? Are you a good listener? Or maybe they feel really motivated and encouraged when they're around you. So we call this like the customer experience, right? So you've got your clarity on your mission, but what is the customer experience? Okay, so what is everyone experiencing when they're around you? And again, this isn't to say that it's putting you in a box, like, oh, I have to be exciting or I have to be calming every single moment of every single day, but rather it's a recognition of the kind of, I'm going to use the word vibes because I don't really know what else to say there, the vibes that you put out. Like, how do other people react to you? And when you recognize that, you're able to see the strengths in that. So let's say you're the calming person, okay? If you're a calming person and you walk into the room, you know your strengths. And so if someone's upset, you're able to, lean into that branding and offer comfort to them. Where if someone is, super, super excited and they're really ready and they're telling you something, and you know that usually you're the person that's like, well, is that realistic? Maybe you want to call yourself out and say, I think I need to just keep that in check because I know this about me. I know what kind of person I am. I know the customer experience, what everyone gets when they're around me. So I just want to take a minute and, keep that in check. And I want to be happy with this person. Now's not a time to tell them that they're being unrealistic and crazy. Now's the time to be like, oh, wow, that's really cool. So you can even do this by maybe asking a couple people in your life, like, what kind of feelings do you have when I'm around? Not like love or anything like that, but like, do I tend to motivate you? Do I calm you down? And those are just two extremes that I think are really easy to use. I mean, maybe you're a really annoying person and you just annoy people. I don't know. But this is why it's important to know that, so you can recognize it and be like, man, maybe I need to, be less sing-songy. Maybe you sing everywhere you go and you're just singing all the time. And this will give you the opportunity to talk to someone and they're like, what kind of feelings do you get when I'm around? And you're like, Well, you sing a lot and it's sometimes really annoying. Well, you know what? That's a good thing to know. That's a good thing to know, that your customer experience is maybe not 5 stars. So anyways, that's my next little personal branding, is just recognize how you make other people feel around you naturally. Okay. Then I want to go into values. Okay. These are your motivations. These are your guiding principles. Okay. So I'm going to use social media here. There are ways to grow followers very quickly. You can buy followers. Okay. I actually don't even know how you would buy followers. Never done it. Never will. Because I have a value of being authentic and honest, okay? So one of my guiding principles is that I want to be authentic on social media, and that means I'll never buy followers. So I could reach my goals faster if I bought followers, right? But I have the value that I want to be authentic. That's one of my values: authenticity, intentionality, okay? So come up with 3 to 5 values that guide you, okay? Principles that you just hold true to, even if it means that you're going to slow your own growth, okay? So like I said, there's authenticity, there's intentionality, there is maybe just like a level of compassion. Maybe that's one of your values, is that you want to be compassionate. And if someone comes to you and they're hurting, you're going to drop whatever project you're working on right then to go focus on their needs. And you're compassionate like that. So I think just kind of looking at yourself and really figuring out, and maybe values is the wrong word, maybe it should be more like characteristics that guide you. They're like the bumpers on when you go bowling. You know what I'm talking about? If you're like a professional bowler, you don't, but when you go bowling, you can get the little bumpers on the side so that way your ball doesn't go in the gutter. And that's just kind of what this is. You know what I mean? You're just kind of putting up these bumpers of, these are my values, and because I'm choosing to be authentic, I'm not going to buy social media followers. That's not what I want. But there's other things that I can do with that authenticity, like sharing honestly about using bumpers when I go bowling. So anyways, those are just a couple characteristics that I think it's important for you to define. And then I think that your visual identity is interesting, okay? I love going over visual identity. So for a while, my visual identity was red hair. I had red hair, and I would go through different shades of red. Sometimes it was really red, sometimes it was more like an auburn subtle red, and that wasn't a visual identity for me, okay? Like, I loved my red hair. It was kind of a part of who I was. It was part of my branding, okay? And this past year, I dyed it dark brown. And so my hair is now dark brown, and that is a part of my visual identity, okay? And this is something that I think is very good for a refresh every once in a while. But kind of who are you? You know what I mean? Are you maybe like a dirty blonde with straight hair that's just stunning and you love when your hair is straight? Or do you love curls? Do you always have curled hair? Whether you curl it or it's naturally curly, what's your visual identity with your hair? I think hair is huge for that. And then same with like maybe your color scheme that you wear. I'm a neutral girly. I tend to stay in the neutrals, but we all have colors that look good on us and colors that, let's be honest, don't. You put me in yellow and you will literally gag. Like, I'm just being so truthful. Like, yellow is not my color. And honestly, I don't really think light pink is my color either. I think it's maybe something to do with my skin tone or something. I don't know. The pinky yellowy looks, peaches, it hurts my heart to say, but it does not look good on me. And I recognize that, okay? I'm very aware of my visual identity as a brand girly, okay? So, but I do know is that the brown tones, the greens and browns look great. Those are my colors, okay? Like that olive forest green. And then if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this, but if not, oh well. I'm wearing like maybe like a terracotta colored sweater. This is my vibes. This is what looks good on me. This is where I'm confident. I know my color scheme, and it's maybe like I'm going to say it's like a fall color scheme, okay? Like, I don't know. Isn't there that like filter going around, or at least it was when I was recording this, it was, where it was like you could find like your summer, spring, autumn. I tried that. Did not work. Didn't understand it all. But I do know what colors I look good in. And I think it's important to recognize what colors you feel confident in. Even if I walked in and I was like, I feel confident in yellow, I'm going to wear yellow every day of my life. There you go. That's my brand, and I'm going to do it because it's what I want. So what makes you feel confident? And same with like maybe accessories, okay? I think that this is really fun. I go through this all the time. So for a month, I will wear like the same ring set on my hands and the same necklaces, okay? And it's my brand. It's my visual identity for that month, okay? I will wear the same earrings and it's just my go-to. I know it's like a uniform almost. I know what I'm putting on. I know when I'm putting it on in the morning, and it's my brand. But then like a month later, I get bored of that and I will switch it up and I'll change to a different jewelry set. So currently my brand is a pearl necklace so it's like straight pearls. And then it has a gold chain with one pearl. So it's a 2 necklace set. And it looks great. And then on my one hand, I wear gold jewelry with like fake diamonds. I don't know. They're definitely fake. They're not real. And on my other hand, I wear rose gold because my wedding ring is rose gold. So I try to keep that hand rose gold all the time. And I'm wearing hoops in my ears. That's it. That's all I'm wearing all the time. And that's my identity right now. So anyways, I think maybe if you want to wear like a headband, or maybe you're in like your short haired girl era and you like chop all your hair off, or you have this pair of sneakers and you wear them all the time. Like finding like a uniform kind of vibe, okay? And it's your visual identity. Again, with flexibility to change. I'm not putting you in a box. You can change whenever you want. But it's fun when you recognize something and you're like, oh, that's so on brand. Do you know how many times I say that to myself in my head? Like every single day. Like I'll be doing something, I'm like, that's so on brand. And I love that. I love that so much that I know myself enough. I know where I'm at in life that I can turn it into something where I'm confident in my answers. Whether it's what I'm doing with my time, whether it's how I'm doing my hair, what jewelry I'm putting on. It's just so fun to me. So fun. I also think it's kind of fun to have like little phrases. This is so goofy. Little phrases that are just like yours, like you coined the phrase, okay? So I'm going to tell you my 2 phrases right now. One's a positive and one's a negative, okay? And I've actually been saying this for a very long time now. Matt probably is so sick of hearing me say this, but it's so fun. So whenever I'm talking to someone and they are explaining that they're doing something really good, or maybe they did something they're proud of, or they're talking about something that someone else is proud of, whatever, I will say, as you should, or as she should. So like, let's say Matt came home and he's like, oh, I sold a car today and it went so well. And I'm like, as you should. Heck yeah, that's amazing. Or like, let's say my mom calls me and she's like, oh my goodness, my neighbor, she just got a new car. Apparently we're going with the car theme today. She just got a new car. I'm like, as she should. That's so fun. That's my phrase, okay? And you can take it if you want. I don't really care. But that's like my little on-brand phrase. And then my negative one, I don't know where this came from. I feel like my mom used to say it, but I don't really know. It's so goofy, but I love this phrase. If something negative is happening, I can barely even say this to you guys. I say, gag me with a spoon. And I don't know why. Like, what the heck is that? I literally say, it's like, if Matt comes home, I'm sorry, I'm trying to control myself. If Matt comes home, he's like, Starbucks is out of your favorite drink. I'll be like, oh, gag me with a spoon. What is wrong with me? And I say it so often. It's so bad. I actually probably don't say it around like friends as much because I recognize how weird it is. Oh my gosh, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm literally crying. I'm like, this is so bad. But anyways, I say gag me with a spoon. Why a spoon? I don't know. So anyways, come up with a fun phrase. It's super fun. And then you're just like, oh, that's on brand. That's so on brand. Like Matt said it the other day. I'm like, that's on brand. Maybe that's on brand is my saying too. I don't know. So come up with something that's kind of unique to you, kind of fun, whatever, and say it often. It'll be so cool. It'll be like a little branding for yourself, okay? So I really do want to like mention though, this is all about being authentic to you and not like strategic, okay? Like you're trying to connect to your purpose instead of necessarily forcing it on other people, or even like you're like trying to inspire, not manipulate here, okay? Like this is really meant to just help you be the most authentic version of yourself and then kind of letting the rest play out. And it helps contribute, you know what I mean? So like when I'm saying like you should know your branding, it's not necessarily so that way you're like so cool, but really so that way you know how to best serve others and you're not self-promoting in this, okay? So a big way that you can really, niche down and brand yourself is, I feel like I should not say brand yourself. Find your personal brand is on social media. You know what I mean? Just having like an overall look where there's certain people where like as soon as I see the post, I don't even have to know who posted it. I know like who it was before I look. And that's just really cool. I really think that there's something unique about that, something exciting about that, of being so confident in who you are. It's almost like a brand. Like you have your own little company, but you're more than that. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to fit in this box. Is why I seriously change my brand all the time, like all the time. But it's fun to think of it as your own little personal style, your personal life as far as the branding goes. So I hope this was fun. You now know my most embarrassing phrase, and I hope you don't hate me for it, but I probably won't ever stop saying it. Because it's just really, really funny to me, and it always makes anyone around me laugh and like just like be shocked. So it takes a little the tension out of the situations, because like I said, I only use it in bad situations, and it's better than being like, oh, makes me want to jump off a bridge. Well, maybe that's your new phrase. Actually, I don't encourage that. That's a little too far. It's a little too far to say that, okay? Anyways, if you have any questions about your personal branding, ideas for this, just let me know, DM me. Follow the Inspired Lady podcast. It's super fun. Now that the master's is over, once we get in the new house, give me until we get in the new house. I'm going to be way more active on there. I've got some really fun ideas coming up, and it'll be a really good time, okay? So thanks for listening, and I hope that this helped inspire you as far as creating your own personal brand.